Hijab row back in the spotlight. Congress vows to desaffranize Karnataka. Amnesty India seeks hijab ban revocation. BJP waits and watches. Hijab debate reignites. Restoring rights or appeasement politics? That's our top focus at 6 p.m. Prime.
A very good evening. You're watching India Today, 6 p.m. Prime with me, Nabila Jamal. Just barely 2 weeks into Congress government coming into power in Karnataka, you're looking at pro-hijab advocates and activists asking the government to revoke the hijab ban. Will the Congress do it? I'm going to take you through all that and more. First, the headlines. Unparliamentary politics erupts over new Sansad. Congress lists 19 parties that are set to boycott Parliament inauguration on the 28th of May. Naya Sansad to get ancient scepter, a symbol of freedom in ancient Chola Empire, presented to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, by a seer in 1947, now makes its appearance back in the new Parliament. Gali politics rages on. Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary calls Prime Minister Modi as pagal, defends the statement and says only echoed public sentiment over 2,000 rupee notes withdrawal. And Prime Minister Modi concludes Australia visit, marking an end to his three-nation world tour, holds bilateral meet with Australian Prime Minister Albanese and demands strict action against those who vandalize Hindu temples in Australia.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मंदिरों पर होने वाले हमलों और अलगाववादी तत्वों की गतिविधियों के संबंध में उन्होंने मुझे एक बार फिर आश्वस्त किया है कि वो ऐसे तत्वों के विरुद्ध सख्त एक्शन लेते रहेंगे.
Gyanvapi Rao reignites. Mosque committee files a fresh plea in court, says no shivling in mosque area. Muslim side also claim Aurangzeb was not cruel, did not demolish any temple. And trouble mounting for former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. Pakistan Defence Minister Khwaja Asif says Pakistan government mulling a ban on Imran's party PTI. All right, just barely 2 weeks into the Congress government coming into power in Karnataka, we're looking at the Congress now rethinking the hijab ban that was imposed by the BJP government, upheld by the Karnataka High Court. Even though the matter is in court now, we hear the Congress party netas saying that they're going to relook at this ban through legal route. In fact, the Congress not just speaking on the hijab ban, also referring to many other acts that have been passed by the BJP government, including that of the cow slaughter ban and the anti-conversion bill. Let's have a quick look at this report.
The brand new siddaramaiah government in Karnataka looks set to launch a desaffranization drive. The new regime could overturn many controversial decisions taken by its predecessor, the BJP, which was seen as communally divisive. First under the lens is the ban on hijab on campuses across the state. The Congress could also review the anti-conversion and anti-cow slaughter bills, which it had described as unconstitutional.
So we will relook at every policy matter that the previous government has brought in. Everything, like I said, cow slaughter or your anti-conversion bill or whatever executive orders that they have passed with respect to moral policing, everything will be relooked into.
AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi has welcomed the Congress move to rethink the hijab ban.
हम शुरू से इस बात का डिमांड कर रहे हैं कि हिजाब बैन अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है जो बीजेपी की सरकार ने किया था. वो आर्टिकल 29 राइट टू कल्चर का ब्लेटेंट वायलेशन है, ग्रॉस वायलेशन है, वो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है. उस बैन को जाना चाहिए. सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी जब ये 2 जजेस बेंच के पास गया तो 2 जजेस ने डिफरिंग ओपिनियन दिया और एक फेवर में जो जजमेंट आया तो उन्होंने यही बात कही है। और आप कैसे रोकेंगे किसी को कपड़ा क्या पहने?
The Siddaramaiah government has already cracked the whip on the police department. At a meeting with top police officers on Tuesday, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar instructed the police to be vigilant against moral policing.
That is what we have instructed all the senior police officers. No supplication, no moral policing. And to those who are making false news, and action will be initiated against such people. Honorable Chief Minister, former Chief Minister said, why not saffronization? Why not moral policing? We will not allow anyone to take the law into the hands. It may be a congressman, it may be any other political party. No one should take the law into the hands. The law should be protected by the police.
The BJP has accused the Congress of pandering to minority communities.
The Congress government says that these are policy issues where they have to look into in the days to come. However, the experts feel that once the judgment has been passed, there are possibilities that Congress government can go ahead and pass a law or pass an ordinance and bring governing council under education department, and thereafter they can take a decision on hijab. With video journalist Mahesh Sagairaj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
All right, one, remember the kind of uproar that kicked off in Karnataka right after the Karnataka government decided to ban the hijab. It all started in January 1st, 2021. That was when the hijab issue erupted with some of the college students in Udupi asking the college management to allow them into classrooms wearing the hijab, to which they were denied. Jan 26, 2022, we see that the government set up an expert committee to resolve this matter because there was a deadlock between the hijabi students as well as the PU college management, which comes under the government itself, Government of Karnataka. Jan 31st, 2022, students then moved the Karnataka High Court after the college refused to allow these students inside classrooms wearing the hijab. And that's when, in fact, the students insisted in court that wearing the hijab was their fundamental right, and being denied it was taking away their constitutional rights. February 5th, 2022, Karnataka government then bans hijab in classrooms, officially says that this is a ruling by the Karnataka government, that there is a code of conduct. You've got to dress a certain way, basically adhere to the college uniformity, and no religious symbol can be allowed inside classrooms. This was the Karnataka government's mandate, and the same thing in Feb 10th, 2022, the Karnataka High Court as well, where these issues were argued extensively by the prosecution as well as the girls who are fighting for hijab. The Karnataka High Court finally passes an interim order asking for colleges to whatever dress code that the colleges impose, students have to abide by it, which means no religious symbol will be allowed inside classrooms. Feb 11, 2022, a petition was filed then before the Supreme Court against the High Court's directives. The same argument there even in High Court, that their constitutional rights have been denied, and many of the hijab petitioners there claiming that hijab is an essential practice in Islam. And the Supreme Court then, of course, taking up the matter, Supreme Court delivered a split verdict on October 13, 2022 on the hijab ban. And then Jan 23, 2023, Supreme Court agrees to hearing a plea seeking interim directions. March 3rd, 2023, a Sharia Committee for Women sought urgent hearing by the Supreme Court, saying that many of the girls want to be attending their examinations and they should be allowed inside classrooms with the hijab. They asked for an urgent hearing, but the Supreme Court refused to list this case with urgency. So the matter now lies in the Supreme Court. I'm going to quickly cut across to Sagairaj live, joining us from Bengaluru. Sagai, we're looking at a lot of clamour around many of the pro-hijab activists now asking the Congress government to revoke the ban implemented on hijab at educational institutions. The Congress now is actually thinking over it. We believe that the ministers within the Congress have said directly that they are likely to take the legal route and abolish that ban that have been put in place by the BJP government.
See, Nabila, to revoke the ban, there should be a lot of things which should be done. First of all, the case should get over in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court have to deliver the verdict on this hijab row. And thereafter, the government can go ahead and change the policy. The policy in sense where the government has given an autonomy to the governing council of all the schools and colleges to take a decision on uniform. For an example, there are Urdu government schools in Bengaluru or across the state of Karnataka. Still, students in Urdu government school wear hijab and go to the school because their governing council allow them to wear hijab. So there are other governing council like school in Udupi. Udupi government school had asked students to follow uniform and they didn't allow hijab or saffron shawl inside the school premises. So there is a ban on hijab in those schools. So government have to go ahead and bring the governing council under government, and they have to pass an ordinance saying that the government will take a decision on the uniform, or they will instruct governing council to go ahead and follow this kind of instruction when you are asking to implement the uniform. Or else they will say that we will take the in charge of uniform, you take the rest of the decision which should be taken in the schools. So there are pros and consequences, but it is a huge cycle for the government to go ahead and do, because few schools which has been operated by the local MLAs. For an example, in Udupi, the chairman of government school is a local MLA, and the local MLA is a BJP MLA who had opposed hijab inside the school premises. So the governing council will oppose that. So there might be a Congress MLA in a different school. He might be pro. He might allow. So they might allow the hijab. So it all depends upon the governing council.
Absolutely. It ultimately depends on the Supreme Court where the matter is. But undoubtedly, it's also a case now that the Congress government decides to fight for those girls who have been, who claim that they're being deprived of their constitutional rights. I'm going to cut across to this big breaking coming in as Priyank Kharge, who's now a minister within the Karnataka cabinet, has put out this very message there, almost indicating that the Congress is now rethinking over the hijab ban. The Congress now mulling over revoking the ban that was imposed by the BJP government, upheld by the Karnataka High Court. Mallikarjun Kharge's son, Priyank Kharge, who's now a minister within the Karnataka cabinet, says, as he puts out this very pointed tweet, he says, "We'll review any bills passed by the past BJP government." Priyank Kharge goes on to say, "We'll review bills that affect Karnataka's image. We want to build an economically and socially equal Karnataka." This is Priyank Kharge's message. In fact, I have him with me, joining us live right here on India Today. Priyank, thank you very much for joining us. And this is the clarification that Karnataka wants to know. Of course, India is watching as well. The Karnataka's ban on hijab, it did send out a message across the country. At this point, we see now that you've come to power in Karnataka, there's been a lot of clamor, a lot of requests, a lot of demands on revoking the hijab ban. How does the Congress at this point view this? What is your decision on this? Will you really ensure that this ban is quashed? Tell us a little more on your thought and how you progressing forward with that.
See, the government and the Congress party has been very clear on its stand with respect to all regressive bills that have been brought during the BJP's regime. Any bill, any executive order that goes against the image of Karnataka, that goes against getting in investment, that goes against creating employment, will be reviewed and will be rejected if necessary. So it does not matter whether it's the anti-cow slaughter, anti-conversion bill, the cow slaughter bill, or the hijab thing. Everything will be looked at from the economic perspective. Everything will be looked at from a very progressive point of view, and then we will take a call.
But Priyank, we see that Amnesty India has put forth a few demands asking the Congress, now that the Congress has come to power in Karnataka, why don't you undo the wrongs, supposed wrongs of the BJP in the state? Are you abiding to what, or are you acknowledging what Amnesty India has said, even including that of the hijab ban?
No, I'm not sure what Amnesty International has requested the government of Karnataka, but we have made our stand very clear about all these bills that are not economic, that does not propose economic progress.
Right. Priyank, we see that when the ban was imposed in Karnataka, nearly 16,000 students dropped out of school and college. There was data. What did the Congress do at that point in time? Did you take cognizance of what happened, the fallout of it?
Absolutely. The data which you have is just the tip of the iceberg. But more and more students are leaving schools and colleges because of this particular stand by the government. Government's primary prerogative should be education. After all, they're going to be the citizens of tomorrow. They are the ones who are going to take care of the society tomorrow. They are the ones who are going to lead Karnataka tomorrow. And you want an educated bunch leading our state. We have been a progressive state all our throughout the history of our state, and we don't want to be. We don't want any social unrest among youngsters. It's a very dangerous thing to have. The idea is to create a knowledge-based society which will lead to education, which will lead to economic progress of the state.
Right. On the same note, we see that the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his deputy D.K. Shivkumar has sent out a direction to the police department of Karnataka, asking them not to saffronize the state. What was the real intention behind this statement and this ruling that was given to the police of Bengaluru?
No, both the CM and the DCM have very been clear in their messaging, saying that we will not tolerate the Department of Home indulging in political activities, whether it is BJP, Congress or JDS. We had BJP, we had a few officers, when they were in their uniform, wearing saffron shawls and posing and chanting slogans on behalf of certain political parties. They are bound by service rules. There is a constitution that they need to follow. They need to follow the rule of land. And the ones who are supposed to enforce the law of the land start breaking the law of the land. What kind of messaging are you sending? And they are not stooges of a political party. They are officers of government of Karnataka, and they have to follow the service rules that is prescribed by the government. We are as simple as that. Why is BJP so hesitant to ensure the constitutional norms are followed?
All right, now that the Congress is in power and you're focused around the 5 guarantees, Priyank, why don't you tell us? We're seeing a lot of videos now breaking out from different parts of Karnataka where people are demanding free electricity up to 200 units, demanding free travel. You've made those guarantees, but it hasn't yet trickled down on ground.
See, any scheme that needs to come into action needs to be implemented. It takes time. And in our first cabinet, we have already issued the government order saying that in principle, everything has been agreed upon. We have assigned responsibilities to the respective departments to come back with a working framework of implementation and the economic framework for the implementation of the schemes. And as suggested by the CM and Deputy CM, it will be done by the next cabinet. So it's hardly a week since the government has been formed. May 13th was the results that had been announced, and it's just been 10 days. So we have requested the public to be a little patient, and we have sought their cooperation.
Right, but we do agree it takes a little while, but it's now 2 weeks into power. Have you directed the departments to go right ahead with it?
Yeah, we have assigned each of the guarantees to the respective departments. We have asked them to come back to us with a working framework on implementation model, and we have issued orders for asking the departments to come up with the economic impact and impact framework for the same, and they are going to do that by the next cabinet. We are not going to leave people in the lurch, and we have requested the public for their complete cooperation. It will be done within a couple of weeks.
All right, Priyank, we've heard you loud and clear. Final question here before I send you off. What's the real issue between D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah? A lot of talk within your own cabinet ministers. M.B. Patil says there's no power sharing formula. D.K. acknowledged that there is a power sharing formula, but it just hasn't been announced. What is the deal? Is Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar, are both of them really united? Will they be able to give good governance to Karnataka?
The government, the people of Karnataka have given us a mandate for good governance. And right now, the entire party, the cabinet, as well as the government is for single focus is trying to give good governance and ensure the implementation of the 5 guarantees, the power sharing model, the 50-50 model, call it what you want, that is not on our cards. And whatever has to be decided will be decided by the High Command at a later stage. Right now, all these talks are of no consequence.
All right, Priyank, thank you very much for joining us on India Today and well, giving the Congress's opinion on how they're going to look at revoking the hijab ban and a lot more. Now, speaking of the 5 guarantees, as the Congress has promised a lot, including free travel for women, 10 kgs rice, free electricity, up to 200 units, 3,000 rupees for graduates, 2,000 rupees for women of every household. Has it really taken into effect on ground? These images here showing otherwise. Here you have the first image that we show you here, almost a revolt by a bunch of villagers in Belagavi, where the BESCOM official, the electricity board official, comes knocking at the doors, asking the household to pay the electricity bill, and they refuse. Those, a bunch of those villagers there say that they have voted for the Congress and they are hoping that they get free electricity. Not hoping, they're demanding. They said they have been promised that and they're not going to pay their electricity bill, despite the readings showing very clearly that they have passed the 200 units limit. So that's one image that you see there from Belagavi, as villagers are refusing to pay their electricity bills because the Congress has promised to waive off up to 200 units. On the other, I'm going to take you through this image where a woman now refusing to pay her bus ticket. She hops on a BMTC bus, public transport, but she refuses to pay the ticket because she says, I voted for the Congress, and the Congress has very well told all of us, they've promised us that they're not going to allow, they're not going to take money from us. It's free travel for women. These are 2 images. One, the villagers there refusing to pay electricity bill, asking officers to close their meters. And this is the image where a woman in Ramnagara refusing to buy a bus ticket, claiming that she has voted for the Congress and the Congress has promised her free bus travel. All right, cutting across to some big breaking news coming in from Karnataka. A big disappointment undoubtedly for the JDS after they are drubbing this Karnataka Assembly elections. And to that effect, we see JDS State President CM Ibrahim now resigning as the President of the JDS. One should remember that CM Ibrahim very recently joined the JDS and was quickly made the President of the party. But in no time, right after Karnataka elections have ended and the JDS is poor faring there, forcing JDS State President CM Ibrahim to resign as the President. CM Ibrahim steps down after Karnataka's poll debacle for the JDS. Sagai Raj joining us more on that. Sagai, CM Ibrahim dumped the Congress, joined the JDS barely before Karnataka elections took place. And now after the massive drubbing of the JDS, where they barely got about 18 seats, almost 12 to 13 seats that they've lost out from the tally of 2018, CM Ibrahim taking it upon himself and saying, I resign. Tell us more.
Absolutely. It is a decimating performance of JDS across the state of Karnataka, especially old Mysuru region. In Mandya and Hassan, Kolar, Tumkur, wherever they had a stronghold, they have seen a very bad performance, and probably CM Ibrahim, who is a state president, has become a scapegoat where he has tendered his resignation, claiming the huge loss of JDS in the old Mysuru region. Remember that no matter who is the president, state president of JDS, it is S.D. Kumaraswamy and Deve Gowda who is the supremo, who is the face of the party. Probably it doesn't make much damage to the party.
All right. Well, doesn't do much damage to the party. That itself is a message going out. But CM Ibrahim taking it upon himself for the debacle of the JDS is an irony here, because it's barely a month earlier that he joined the Congress, dumped the Congress, joined the JDS, and now after the debacle of the JDS in Karnataka, CM Ibrahim saying that I take full responsibility and therefore I step down. All right, on that note, it's a wrap for me, Nabila Jamal, on 6 p.m. Prime.